Hi, I'm Mary-Beth Infante, founder of MOTLOT Living. Welcome. I'm going to start today's video with a question. What's tiny, versatile, comes in a variety of colors, and is a nutritional powerhouse? If you guessed lentils, you're right. Lentils are mini-sized legumes belonging to the same family as beans, peas, and peanuts, and yet these are the plant protein powerhouses of the entire family. I'm really excited that you were able to join today. We're going to be making two nutrient-dense soups made with lentils that I think you'll all enjoy, and so will your families. Lentils are also known as pulses. They're basically the dried seeds of the pod of the legume plant. And they're often overlooked and underrated, but they shouldn't be. They have a lot of vitamins like vitamin B6. They're packed with minerals like copper, zinc, and magnesium, as well as dietary fiber. They really do belong in your nutrition plan every week, and they have a place at your table. One of the questions I get asked often is, should you soak lentils? The short answer is no, you don't have to. If you have enough time, it's a good idea to do it, and here's why. Lentils, like other legumes, have phytic acid, which is an anti-nutrient. Phytic acid is good for the plants as it helps with their growth and maintaining their own nutrients, as well as protection for the plant. But it's not great for people. Some people have trouble digesting it. It also can stand in the way of mineral absorption. So if you soak your lentils for a few hours in a pan of water and with a splash of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, that helps break down the phytic acid and makes the lentils easier to digest. And one of the tips I'd like to bring up is if you or a family member has shied away from using lentils in your nutritional eating plan, please try to soak them. I think you'll be surprised at the difference it makes in your ability to digest them, and it really will give you the opportunity to enjoy these little nutritional powerhouses on a regular basis. Today we're going to be making two soups, as I said. These are both made with red lentils. Lentils do come in other colors, as I mentioned at the earlier part of the video. They come in green and brown and red. There's also French lentils and other types. Red lentils tend to break down better, so they work well with the soups we're making today. I'm going to include another recipe for a salad made with the brown lentils. Brown and green lentils hold their shape better, so they look nice on the plate, they look nice in a hearty soup, and you'll be able to see the difference in the recipe that I'll include at the end. So today, let's start with the red lentil soup. One of the reasons I love this soup is because the short list of ingredients. It's also really delicious, but it is nice because it comes together quickly. So I took the opportunity to prepare the vegetables just to make it easier on the video, but you need an onion, garlic, some olive oil, some spices, some broth, a little bit of water, and of course you need your red lentils. This soup comes together pretty easily, cooks quickly. The only other piece of equipment you're going to need is a blender, because you actually blend half the soup to a puree, and then you pour it back in the soup, and it gives it a really nice texture. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So let's get started with the red lentil soup. I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan, and it's on about a medium flame. I have a gas, so it's a flame, medium height. Let that warm up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and toss in the garlic and the onions. Like I said, I had chopped these up prior to making the video. So I'm going to put the onions in. You can hear them sizzle. We're going to kind of give them a few minutes. I'm going to put some garlic in. It's always nice to put a lot of garlic in. It depends on your taste. We're going to saute this for about 4 minutes until the onions kind of get that transparent color. I'm using a wooden spoon. I love wooden spoons. They feel good in my hand, and I like the way they feel in the pan. So we're kind of sauteing these a little bit. Next in is going to be the tomato paste and some spices. So you need about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. It kind of gives it some thickness, so I'm going to put that in. My onions are just about browning. You certainly want them to be a little soft, or you don't want to have to be biting through an onion when you're eating your soup. So they look pretty good. Put in a tablespoon of tomato paste, like I said, maybe a little bit extra. You'll see some of my recipes I kind of ad-lib as I go along. I'm going to stir that up. I'm going to add a little bit of cumin, because it gives it a nice flavor. You can be generous or not. A little bit of salt and pepper, of course. We always add salt and pepper. Anytime you have the opportunity to buy kind of a sea salt that's packed with minerals rather than table salt, it's a good idea. You know, we're always about as much nutrition as possible per dish. So, you know, salt is one of those things that you can get a nice blend of minerals for your body, and minerals are so important for so many of our functions. Okay, so that's going to cook for a couple minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and add the broth. You could use vegetable broth or homemade vegetable broth, or a blend of water and vegetable broth. So I'm going to put this in, and it's going to simmer for a little bit. You can hear it. And once this is in, the lentils go in, which is really what this whole video is about, isn't it? So let's get those lentils in. You put in about a cupful, and again, we are using the red lentils, which I really enjoy, and I think they look nice too. I'm going to put about a cup of red lentils in. Again, I'm a little more generous than I should be maybe with these recipes, but one of the things I kind of hope that you get out of my MOTLOT Living videos is that don't beat yourself up, don't get too crazy about recipes. You know, the kitchen is a place for creativity, and yes, it's great to follow a recipe so you know what kind of foods blend together, but it's just so much fun to be able to, you know, make it taste your own. Make it a little more spicy, or a little thicker, or a little thinner. So, you know, try to enjoy yourself in the kitchen, because of the healthy eating is also the healthy cooking. So this is going to take a few minutes, so we're just going to let this simmer for a while, and we'll come back in a minute and I'll show you how to blend. Let's put these carrots in too. That's important. Ooh, I have a little end of a carrot in there, a little sloppy with the cutting. Okay, so now we're going to let this simmer, and we'll come back in a few minutes to blend. Okay, so the soup has been simmering for a little while. So as I said, this is going to be a blended soup. Now it's really hot, so just a little kitchen safety tip. You have to be careful when you put half of the soup into the blender. I do about half. The other half will be, you know, just the simmered soup. But you'll see when we add in this blended pureed part of the soup, it really gives it just an amazing, nice texture. I take the cover off my blender because there's just so much steam in here. I don't want it to pop. Make sure it's on low before you turn it on. And it's going to be noisy, but we'll give it a little bit of a puree. So it's grinding up the lentils and the carrots. So they're nice and soft already, so it really doesn't take very long. But it's a nice puree when it comes out. And we're going to add it back to the soup. Oh yeah, that looks like really amazing. So let's put it back in the soup. And so now what you have is just this blended red lentil soup with some carrots and vegetable broth and water and onion and garlic, and that's it. And it's just a really delicious meal. You make a nice leafy green salad and a piece of crunchy French bread, and you are good to go. This next soup is called vegetable lentil tortilla soup. One of the things I love about it, besides being a hearty, nutrient-dense, plant-based soup that's full of vitamins, minerals, and fiber, is that you can make it in the crock pot. I mean, it is ideal to be able to throw all the ingredients in a crock pot, go about your day, and come home to a delicious, nutrient-dense meal at the end of your busy day. I took the opportunity again to cut my vegetables. So we had peppers, and I used a variety of colors. You can use whatever you want, but I like putting the different colors in. I used red, orange, and yellow. You dice them kind of small just so they blend nicely in the soup. You need some crushed tomatoes. You need beans. I put in white beans as well as black beans just to give it a variety. You have the lentils, so you really have a nice blend of plant proteins in this soup. You always use onion and garlic in most soups, a little bit of olive oil, broth, and some spices. I'll show you how this comes together, and then we'll do a taste test at the end. Okay, so we're going to assemble the vegetable lentil tortilla soup. So I put a little bit of olive oil in. I'm going to add the onions, about a half a cup of onions. I already rinsed off the black beans, so I'm putting the black beans in. I put pretty much the whole can in. Same with the white beans. I'm using cannellini beans. These were already rinsed also. Use pretty much the whole can, or you could throw the whole can in if you want. I already cut up the peppers, as I said. I used orange, red, and yellow, so throw those in. We don't want to forget the lentils, so we're putting in about 3/4 of a cup of the red lentils. As I said, we're using red today because of the type of soup we're making. I'm going to put about a can of these crushed tomatoes in. Gives it a little bit of juice in there. I'll wipe that out. We have some vegetable broth, about 2½ cups of broth, which we'll just dump in. See, this is what I love about this recipe. You literally are dumping things into this crock pot and you are going to have a dinner when it's time for dinner. I'm putting some fresh pepper in. I do like fresh pepper. If you have the opportunity to use a fresh pepper grinder, it is nice. It gives it a lot of flavor. Salt, mineral, sea salt, as we said. A little bit of cumin. And I have some chili powder somewhere, which I will find. You also need about a cup of corn. Sometimes I put the corn in, sometimes I don't. I'm going to do it today for purposes of the video. I don't always like corn, but you know, personal preference. But this does give it a lot more fiber and some heartiness. Okay, I think I got everything in there. Oh, the chili powder. Let me put that in, and we will cover it up. And we will wait 4 or 5 hours on low, 6 or 7 hours on high. Oh, the other way around. 4 or 5 hours on high, 6 or 7 hours on low. And it will be a nice soup when we come back. Hi, welcome back. So I think we're ready to take a peek into the crock pot and see how vegetable lentil tortilla soup has been doing. It really smells great. Oh yeah, it's ready. Okay, so let's scoop some out so you guys can see kind of what it looks like. It's a thick, juicy soup. Oh, it smells so good. And as I said earlier, the red lentils break down a little bit. So it's a little bit hard to see. You can tell that they're in there, but they do break down, but it gives it the nice texture in the soup. So one of the things that I love about this soup, besides it being easy to make in a crock pot and being ready, is that each person can make each bowl their own. So you can customize it, right? So the toppings are really great to put on the soup. I have some cheddar cheese that I had cut up pieces. I tend to buy the brick of cheddar cheese because the shredded packages have coloring and additives that you don't really need. So if you can find anything like brick and just cut it, it doesn't take that long. It's a nice way to make sure you're getting a natural product. Jalapeno peppers, so these can be added to the top. I happen to like it hot, so I'm going to put a couple slices on. Certainly everyone will have their own ability to have as hot as they want it, so you may skip those altogether. Just a tip on these, the seeds are what can be really hot on your skin. So if you use your fingers like I just did, do not put your hands in your eyes or rub your face because it's really spicy and your eyes will burn. And last but not least are tortilla chips. So it's right in the name of the soup, vegetable lentil tortilla soup. So I usually break up chips into the top of my soup. I've been buying these Simply Tostitos organic chips, mostly because they're made with expeller sunflower oil as opposed to canola or vegetable oil, which are really unhealthy oils because they're so heavily processed. So if you can find these, I think they're available nationally. You might want to give them a try. They come in blue corn as well. So I'm going to crumble some up on top, and then the way I usually eat this soup is I add chips throughout my meal, and that's it. So thanks for joining today. This has been fun for me to show you 2 kinds of lentil soups. As you know, we talked about how valuable they are in terms of nutrition. They're really great plant protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and they taste really great. They're versatile too. So at the end of the video, you'll see the 2 recipes, red lentil soup and the vegetable lentil tortilla soup. And I also will put that recipe in using the brown lentils for a cold salad. So please, I hope you'll be able to enjoy those as well. A shout out to Bounty and Soul. Thank you for inviting me back and doing this second video on the lentils. I really enjoyed my time with you all, and I hope to see you again. Thank you. Bye.